Captain Jake Miller floated through the maintenance tunnel of his cargo ship, checking the air filters when his communication device crackled to life. "Captain, you need to see this," came the voice of his pilot, Amy Chen. She sounded worried, which was unusual for her. Jake pushed himself toward the bridge using the handles along the walls. In deep space far from any star system, his ship, the Blue Horizon, carried medical supplies to colony worlds. It was honest work and paid enough to keep his small crew fed and happy. When he reached the bridge, he saw his 5 crew members staring at the main screen. Amy pointed at a debris field floating ahead. "Looks like a battle happened here. Maybe 2 days ago," she said. "The radiation signatures are still fresh." Jake studied the wreckage carefully. Broken metal, twisted hull pieces, and frozen clouds of atmosphere drifted in silence. Then something caught his eye. A small escape pod tumbled slowly among the debris, but this one still had power. Its emergency beacon flashed weakly. "There might be survivors," Jake said. "Get us closer, but careful, Amy, those raiders might still be around." His security officer, Sam Cooper, checked his instruments. "No other ships on sensors, Captain, but that pod is losing power fast. Life support will fail in maybe 30 minutes. Jake made his decision. "Bring it into cargo bay 2. Lisa, get your medical kit ready. We might have injured people." "Dr. Lisa." Park nodded and left for the medical bay while engineer Bill Murphy went to prepare the cargo area. The youngest crew member, Katie Young, watched nervously from her station at communications as they pulled the pod aboard. Jake and Sam stood ready with weapons just in case the pod was unlike anything they had seen before. Its metal surface had patterns that seemed to shift and move like living water. Strange symbols glowed faintly along its sides. Bill scanned it with every instrument he had. "Captain, this technology is way beyond anything humans have built. The metal alone would make us rich if we sold it." Jake shook his head. "We are not salvagers. Open it carefully." The pod door hissed open with a sound like singing wind. Inside lay a single figure, and Jake's breath caught in his throat. She was humanoid, but clearly not human. Her skin had a pearl shine that seemed to glow from within. Long silver hair spread around her like liquid mercury. Her face was beautiful but different, with larger eyes and delicate features that looked almost fragile. She wore a torn dress made of material that looked like woven starlight. Even unconscious, she had a presence that made the cargo bay feel smaller. Jake stepped forward without thinking and lifted her carefully. She weighed almost nothing in his arms. "Get her to medical now," Lisa ordered as she arrived. They placed the alien woman on the medical bed and Lisa began her examination. 3 hearts, she announced with amazement, all beating but weak. "Her blood is purple and her body temperature is much higher than ours, but she is definitely alive." The woman's eyes suddenly opened and Jake found himself staring into orbs that shifted from deep purple to bright gold. She tried to speak but only managed to whisper. Jake leaned closer to hear. "Help me," she said in perfect English. "They are coming for me." "Who is coming?" Jake asked gently. "You are safe now. The Void Raiders," she managed to say before her eyes closed again. "They want what I carry." Lisa injected something into the woman's arm. "She needs rest, whatever she is. Her body is repairing itself faster than anything I have seen before." Jake posted Sam on guard duty and returned to the bridge. Amy had been analyzing the wreckage, "Captain, that was definitely a Kalari ship," he said, pointing at her screen. "See those energy signatures? Only the Kalari use quantum drives like that." Katie looked up from her research. "The Kalari are mentioned in the alien database we got from the Mars colony. They are supposed to be incredibly advanced but secretive. No human has ever made official contact with them, so we have a Kalari survivor on our ship," Jake said, rubbing his chin. "And raiders are hunting her. This could get complicated." Bill's voice came over the speaker. "Captain, you need to see this. I am in her pod." Jake went back to the cargo bay where Bill showed him a hidden compartment. Inside was a small device no bigger than a human fist. It pulsed with soft blue light and made Jake's skin tingle when he got close. "This is some kind of data storage," Bill said. "But the technology is beyond me. It might be what the raiders want." "Take it to the safe," Jake ordered. "We protect it until she wakes up and tells us what to do." 3 hours later, the woman woke again. This time she seemed stronger. Lisa called Jake to the medical bay and he found their guest sitting up and looking around with those remarkable color-changing eyes. "Thank you for saving me," she said, her voice now clear and musical. "I am Princess Zara of the Kalari Empire. My ship was attacked when I was traveling to meet with your Earth government." Jake tried to hide his surprise. "A princess," he said. "Well, Your Highness, you are safe on my ship. I am Captain Jake Miller. Please just call me Zara." She said, "I owe you my life. Titles mean nothing now." She looked at Lisa, who was checking her vital signs. "Your doctor is skilled. I heal faster than your species, but her care helped greatly." "Why were you going to Earth?" Jake asked, pulling up a chair to sit beside her bed. Zara's eyes shifted to a deep blue color. "People have watched humanity for a long time. You are ready for first contact. Your species has qualities we admire. Courage, loyalty, and something we lack. What do you lack?" Jake asked, curious about this advanced alien race. She looked directly at him. "You call it heart, the ability to act on emotion rather than logic. My people have become too calculated, too cold. I was bringing an offer of alliance, but the raiders knew my route. Someone betrayed me." Jake felt anger rise in him. "Who would do that?" Zara stood up, surprisingly steady for someone who nearly died. "Your sweet concern touches me, Captain, but the betrayal comes from my own people. Some Kalari think humans are too dangerous to contact. They fear what you might become." Before Jake could respond, alarms started blaring throughout the ship. Amy's voice echoed from speakers. "Captain, we have company. 20 raider ships just dropped out of hyperspace. They are demanding we hand over our passenger." Jake ran to the bridge with Zara following close behind. Despite Lisa's protests, the alien princess moved with surprising grace and speed. When they reached the command center, the main screen showed 20 ships surrounding them. Each vessel bristled, with weapons, and their dark hulls looked like predators circling prey. "This is Raid Captain Corax," came a rough voice through the speakers. "You have something that belongs to us. Human hand over the Kalari female, and we might let you live." Zara touched Jake's shoulder. "Let me speak to them," she whispered. Jake nodded and opened the channel. "This is Captain Miller of the Blue Horizon. The person you seek is under my protection. You will leave now or face the consequences." The raiders laughed, and the sound was like grinding metal. Korak spoke again. "Stupid human, you have one cargo ship with no weapons. We have 20 warships. Give us the princess and the device she carries." "How did they know about the device?" Jake wondered but kept his face calm. Zara stepped forward so the video feed would show her Korax. She said with authority that made everyone on the bridge stand straighter, "You know who I am. You know what attacking me means." The raider's voice changed, showing a hint of fear. "Princess, Zara, your father will pay well for your return. But the device you carry is worth more than your life. Hand it over." "Never," Zara replied. "It contains the location of every Kalari outpost and technology cache in this galaxy. I would die before letting you have it." Jake muted the channel and turned to his crew. "Amy, can we run?" "Not a chance, Captain," she replied. "We are surrounded and our engines cannot match their speed." Sam checked his weapons locker. "We have small arms, but nothing that could hurt their ships. We are sitting ducks." Jake looked at each of his crew members, then at Zara. "Options, people, I need options." Bill raised his hand from the engineering station. "Captain, I have been studying that device from the pod. It is giving off a signal, maybe. I can modify it." Somehow Zara's eyes widened. "You could broadcast it," she said excitedly. "If you amplify the signal, it would send a distress call to any Kalari ship within 1,000 light years." "How long until help arrives?" Jake asked. "Maybe 6 hours," Zara admitted. "If any of my people are close enough, the raiders will blow us apart in 6 minutes." Sam said, "Not 6 hours. Katie suddenly spoke up from her station. "Captain, I have an idea, but it is crazy." Jake almost smiled. "At this point, crazy is all. We have got..." "What is it?" Katie, she pulled up historical files on her screen. "Remember the Battle of Mars Colony 20 years ago? One human ship held off 50 pirate vessels for 3 days using psychological warfare. They made the pirates think Earth's fleet was hiding nearby. Amy caught on immediately. We could bluff, make them think we have backup coming. But with what Sam asked, they will scan us and know we are lying. Zara stepped forward. Her eyes now glowed bright gold. I can help with that. My people have mental abilities. We can project images, thoughts, even false sensor readings. But I would need to touch someone to amplify my power through them. Without hesitation, Jake held out his hand. Use me. Zara took his hand, and Jake felt electricity run through his whole body. His mind suddenly expanded and he could sense things beyond the ship. He felt Zara's presence in his thoughts, warm and powerful. Together she said, her voice echoing in his mind and soul. Jake opened the channel to the raiders, his voice now carrying strange authority. Corax, you have made a fatal error. You think we are alone out here. The raider laughed again. What game is this? Human Jake smiled as Zara fed power through their connection. This is no game. Check your sensors. Again, through their mental link, Zara projected false readings onto every raider ship. Their sensors suddenly showed dozens of human warships dropping out of hyperspace. Behind those came Kalari battlecruisers, all fake, but the raiders did not know. That impossible. Corax shouted. There is nothing there. Jake kept his voice steady. Hey, sweetie, he said to Zara loud enough for the raiders to hear. Should we tell them about the trap? Zara's skin flushed pink, but she played along. Yes, darling, she replied. Let them know their fate. The combined human and Kalari fleet has been waiting for these raiders to gather in one place. Now we have them all. The raider ships began to break formation. Some powered up their hyperdrives to flee. Corax screamed at them to hold position, but fear had taken root. Jake pressed the advantage. In 30 seconds, the fleet will be in weapons range. Surrender now and you might survive. Several raider ships jumped to hyperspace, immediately abandoning their leader. Others turned, their weapons away from the blue horizon, preparing to defend against the phantom fleet. Bill whispered from his station. Captain, whatever you two are doing, it is working. Their formation is breaking apart. Zara squeezed Jake's hand tighter and pushed more power through him. Jake felt his consciousness expand even further. He could sense the fear on every raider ship, could feel their confusion and doubt. This is Admiral Stone of Earth, Defense Fleet. Came a new voice that Jake did not recognize, but realized was Zara creating an illusion. Stand down immediately or be destroyed. More raider ships fled until only 5 remained, including Corax's command vessel. The raid captain's voice shook with rage and fear. This is impossible, you are tricking. Somehow, Jake looked at his chronometer. They had bought 3 minutes so far. He needed to push harder. Corax, I am giving you one chance. Leave now and never return to human or Kalari space, or stay and face justice for your crimes through the connection. Jake felt Zara weakening. The effort of maintaining such a large illusion was draining her fast, but she held on, her 3 hearts beating rapidly against the strain. Corax made one last attempt at bravado. You are bluffing, human. There is no fleet as. If in response, Zara created the image of weapons charging on dozens of ships. The fake sensor reading showed targeting locks on every remaining raider vessel. It was all illusion, but looked completely real. The last raider ships broke and ran. Corax's voice came through one final time. This is not over, human. You have made an enemy today. The channel closed, and within minutes space around them was empty. The blue horizon drifted alone among the stars once more. Zara collapsed, and Jake caught her before she hit the floor. Her skin had lost its pearl shine, and her eyes flickered between colors randomly. Lisa ran over with her medical kit. She pushed herself too hard. Lisa said, checking vital signs. But she is stable, just exhausted. Jake lifted Zara carefully and looked at his crew. You all did amazing, Katie. That was brilliant thinking, Bill. Can you really modify that device to send a signal, Bill? Nodded. Already working on it. Captain should have something in an hour. Get us moving. Amy, Jake ordered, pick a random direction and make multiple course changes. I want to be far from here when those raiders realize they were tricked. As he carried Zara back to the medical bay, Jake could not help but admire her courage. She had risked her life to save strangers. She trusted him completely, even though they had just met. That kind of faith was rare in the galaxy. When he laid her on the medical bed, Zara's eyes opened briefly. "Thank you," she whispered. "For what?" Jake asked. "You saved us with your abilities." She smiled weakly. "For trusting me. Most species fear what we can do with our minds. But you just accepted it." Jake brushed a strand of silver hair from her face. "Rest now. We will keep you safe." As her eyes closed, Zara whispered something that made Jake's heart race. "You have no idea how special your species is. Captain, how special you are." Lisa checked her readings and gave Jake a knowing look. "She will be fine, but she needs several hours of sleep. Whatever you two did out there created some kind of bond. I am reading synchronized biorhythms between you." Jake did not understand what that meant, but he could still feel a warm presence in the back of his mind, like an echo of Zara's thoughts. He sat beside her bed and watched her sleep, wondering how a simple cargo run had turned into the most important day of his life. 6 hours passed as the blue horizon drifted through space, making random course changes to avoid pursuit. Jake stayed beside Zara while she recovered, watching her strange biology heal itself. Lisa had shown him the medical scans, and her body repaired. Damage at 20 times human speed. Bill's voice came over the intercom. "Captain, I modified the device and sent the signal, but there is something else you should see." Jake made sure Zara was stable, then went to the engineering section. Bill had the alien device connected to dozens of cables and monitoring equipment. The small orb pulsed with brighter light than before. "It is not just a data storage device," Bill explained. "It is some kind of key. When I amplified its signal, it started downloading information directly into our computer. Look at this." The screen showed star maps, but not like any Jake had seen before. These showed hidden routes through space, shortcuts that could cut travel time by 90%. There were coordinates for planets, rich in resources that humans had never discovered. "This is incredible," Jake said. "Why would she carry this?" "That is not all," Bill continued. "There are blueprints here for technology we can barely understand. Energy weapons that use quantum mechanics, medical devices that could cure any disease, propulsion systems that could take us to other galaxies." Jake understood now why the Raiders wanted this so badly. This knowledge could change the balance of power in the galaxy. But something bothered him. "Why would the Kalari share this with humanity?" Soft voice answered from behind him. "Because we believe you are the future." Jake turned to find Zara standing in the doorway, looking stronger but still tired. She moved to the console and touched the device. It glowed brighter, responding to her presence. "My people are dying, Captain," she said sadly. "Not in body but in spirit. We have become too perfect, too logical. We lost the ability to dream, to take risks, to love. We watch younger races like yours and see what we used to be." She pulled up more files showing images of Kalari worlds, beautiful cities that looked empty and sterile, perfect gardens with no one enjoying them, advanced ships that never explored, just patrolled. "We have safety, but no adventure." Zara continued, "Peace but no passion, logic but no love. That is why some of us believe humanity could save us. You are chaotic but creative, violent but capable of incredible compassion, weak but unstoppable. When you have purpose." Amy's voice interrupted from the bridge. "Captain, we have a problem." "Big problem." Everyone rushed to the bridge where the main screen showed a massive ship dropping out of hyperspace. It dwarfed the blue horizon like a mountain next to a pebble. Its design was elegant and alien, with curves that seemed to defy physics. "That is a Kalari battlecruiser," Amy said, her voice shaking. "Weapons are charging and targeting us." Zara stepped forward, her face pale. "Father," she whispered. The screen changed to show a tall figure with the same pearl skin as Zara, but his presence felt cold and intimidating. His eyes were pure silver, showing no emotion. "Princess Zara." His voice filled the bridge like thunder. "You have broken our highest laws, sharing technology with primitives, mental bonding with an inferior species. Abandoning your duties, you will return immediately. Father, please listen." Zara began, but he cut her off silence. You have shamed our entire race. These humans will be destroyed to prevent contamination, and you will face judgment. Jake stepped forward, putting himself between Zara and the screen. With respect, sir, your daughter saved my crew. She showed courage and compassion. If those are crimes in your culture, then maybe your culture needs to change. The Emperor's eyes focused on Jake like lasers. You dare speak to me, human? You are insects compared to us. I could destroy your ship with a thought. Then do it. Jake challenged, looking straight at the Emperor. But know this, you would be destroying the one thing that made your daughter feel alive. For the first time in her life, she made a choice based on feeling, not logic. She chose to trust us. Sam whispered urgently. Captain, their weapons are locked on us. One shot and we are space dust. But Jake did not back down. Your empire is dying, Emperor. Not from war or disease, but from forgetting how to live. Zara sees that. She came to build bridges between our peoples. The Emperor's image flickered, and suddenly he was standing on their bridge, not a hologram, but somehow physically there despite being on his ship. The crew stepped back in fear, but Jake held his ground. Zara moved beside Jake, her hand finding his father. I invoke the right of selection. The bridge went silent. The Emperor's eyes widened, the first emotion he had shown. You cannot be serious. What is the right of selection? Jake whispered to Zara. Ancient law, she replied. If a Kalari chooses a mate outside our species, they can claim protection. The chosen one must prove worthy through 3 trials. If they succeed, the bond is recognized. The Emperor looked at Jake with disgust. This human, he cannot possibly survive the trials. Jake felt Zara's hand squeeze his. She was trembling, but her voice stayed strong. That is my choice to make. Very well, the Emperor said, if the human accepts, he will face the trials, fail, and you both die. Succeed and I will recognize your choice, but know this, daughter, you can never return home. I accept, Jake said without hesitation. Everyone started talking at once. Lisa protested that Jake did not know what he was agreeing to. Sam offered to take his place. Amy said this was insane. But Jake raised his hand for silence. Zara looked at him with those color-shifting eyes. Are you certain? The trials are designed for Kalari physiology. You could die, Jake smiled at her. Hey, sweetie, you saved my ship and crew. I can handle whatever your father throws at me. Zara's skin flushed pink, despite the situation. Yes, darling, she said softly. But you do not understand what you are risking. The Emperor waved his hand and the bridge transformed. They were suddenly standing in a vast arena with walls of light stretching up forever. The blue horizon and its crew were gone, leaving only Jake, Zara, and the Emperor. The first trial begins now, the Emperor announced. Test of mind. The arena filled with swirling patterns and colors that hurt to look at. Jake felt pressure building in his skull as alien thoughts tried to invade his mind. Complex equations appeared in the air, problems that would take human computers years to solve. But then Jake felt Zara's presence in his mind again, not helping, but just being there supporting him. He did not try to solve the equations the way a Kalari would. Instead, he looked for patterns, the way humans always did, finding shortcuts and creative solutions. The pressure increased until Jake thought his head would explode. But he remembered something Zara had said. Humans were not logical like Kalari, but they were adaptable. So instead of fighting the mental invasion, Jake did something unexpected. He welcomed it. The alien thoughts flooded in, but Jake did not try to understand them all. He let them flow through him, taking what made sense and discarding what did not. It was chaos, but humans thrived in chaos. The Emperor watched in surprise as Jake remained standing. Most Kalari struggled with this trial, but this human was approaching it completely differently. Not with logic, but with intuition. The patterns suddenly made sense to Jake. Not because he understood them, but because he felt them. Like music or art, they had rhythm and flow. He reached out and touched the correct sequence, not knowing how he knew, but trusting his instincts. The arena shifted, and the mental pressure vanished. The Emperor's expression remained neutral, but Zara smiled proudly. Second trial, the Emperor announced. Test of body. The ground beneath Jake became soft, and gravity increased tenfold. Jake fell to his knees, feeling like he weighed 1,000 pounds. His bones creaked and muscles screamed, but humans were nothing if not stubborn. Jake thought about every time humanity had faced impossible odds. Every time they were told they could not survive in space, could not travel faster than light, could not compete with stronger species. Each time humans had proved them wrong, not through superior strength, but through sheer determination. He pushed himself up 1 inch at a time. His body wanted to quit, but his mind refused. This was not about being strong enough, it was about refusing to give up. Jake had carried injured crew members through ship disasters before he had survived, when others said he should have died. The gravity increased again and Jake felt blood vessels bursting, but he kept pushing. Finally standing fully upright, blood running from his nose, but still standing. The Emperor actually looked impressed. Zara wanted to run to him, but the rules forbade interference. Jake gave her a weak smile and thumbs up the human gesture, making her hearts race. Final trial, the Emperor announced. Test of spirit. The arena went dark and Jake was alone. Completely alone. He could not feel Zara's presence, could not see anything, could not even hear his own heartbeat. This was isolation, beyond anything humans were meant to endure. In the darkness, fears came. Things Jake had pushed down for years. The death of his parents. His failures as a captain. Every person he could not save. Every wrong choice he had made. The darkness showed him futures where Earth was destroyed, where his crew died, where Zara was taken away. But in that complete isolation, Jake found something. The human spirit that refused to break. Even alone, humans carried others with them in memory and hope. Jake thought about his crew who trusted him, thought about Earth depending on people like him, thought about Zara who believed in humanity's potential. A small light appeared in the darkness, Jake's own spirit refusing to be extinguished. It grew brighter as he remembered every time humans had faced the dark and won not through power but through hope. The darkness shattered like glass and Jake found himself back in the arena, breathing hard but alive. The Emperor stood before him with an expression that might have been respect. Zara ran to Jake, catching him as he swayed on his feet. You passed, the Emperor said slowly. In 10,000 years, no non-Kalari has ever survived the trials. Yet you did not just survive. You approached each test in ways we never expected. Jake leaned against Zara, feeling her warmth and strength supporting him. Humans are full of surprises, he managed to say. The Emperor stepped closer, studying Jake like he was seeing humans for the first time. You used chaos instead of order in the mental test, stubbornness instead of strength in the physical test, hope instead of logic in the spiritual test. Everything backwards from our way, yet it worked. That is what I have been trying to tell you. Father Zara said, humans succeed not despite their flaws, but because of them, they turn weakness into strength. The arena dissolved, and they were back on the Blue Horizon Bridge. The crew stared in shock as their captain appeared with blood on his face, but standing tall beside the alien princess. The Emperor addressed everyone present. By ancient law, I recognize the bond between Princess Zara and Captain Jake Miller. She is free to stay with the humans if she chooses, but Father Zara said there is more at stake here than just my choice. Our people need what humans have. We need to remember how to feel again. The Emperor was quiet for a long moment, then did something that shocked everyone. He smiled. It was small and unpracticed, but genuine. Perhaps you are right, daughter. Perhaps we have been wrong about humans. He turned to Jake, Captain Miller. I came here to destroy you for contaminating our princess with your primitive ways. Instead, I find she has been awakened by them. This device she carries contains our greatest secrets. I should take it back. But you will not, Jake said. It was not a question. No, the Emperor agreed. Your race is not ready for all of it, but some knowledge could help you. And perhaps in helping you grow, we might remember our own youth. Tell me, Captain, What would humanity do with such gifts? Jake looked at his crew, then back at the Emperor. Share them with everyone, not just Earth but all peaceful species. We believe in cooperation, not domination. The Emperor actually laughed a sound like crystal chimes. Remarkable. Most species would use such power to conquer. You would use it to unite me. Spoke up from her station. Sir, long-range sensors are picking up something. Multiple contacts coming fast. The view screen showed dozens of ships dropping out of hyperspace raiders, but not just a few. This was an entire fleet. Hundreds of vessels strong. Corax had not run away. He had gone to get reinforcements. The Emperor frowned. This is more than just raiders. This is the Void Armada. They have been gathering strength in dark space for decades. Bill checked his readings. They will be here in 10 minutes. Captain, we cannot fight that many. Zara touched the data device. It is this they want. With it, they could conquer half the galaxy, then we destroy it. Jake said simply. No. Zara protested. This knowledge could save countless lives. Not if it falls into the wrong hands, Jake replied. Better to lose it than let it be used for evil. The Emperor watched this exchange with interest. You would destroy something priceless to protect others, would not you? Jake asked. Once no, the Emperor admitted. But watching you. Now perhaps yes, Katie interrupted from communications. Captain, I am receiving a signal from Earth. Multiple ships are responding to our distress call, but they are still an hour away. Not close enough, Sam said. Checking weapons. We have maybe 20 shots in our point defense guns. Against hundreds of ships, that is nothing. Jake made a decision. Emperor, you should leave. Take Zara and go. Your ship can outrun them. The Emperor raised an eyebrow. You would sacrifice yourself for my daughter. Jake looked at Zara, who was shaking her head with tears in her eyes. In a heartbeat, he said, but I am hoping for another option. What option could there possibly be? The Emperor asked. Jake smiled. The crazy smile his crew knew meant he had an insane plan. We cannot fight them and we cannot outrun them, so we do what humans do best. We cheat. He turned to Bill. Can you rig the device to overload? Make it look like it is about to explode. Bill nodded. Already figured out how, Captain. Give me 2 minutes. Amy, plot a course. Straight through their fleet. Jake ordered maximum burn. Sam grabbed Jake's arm. Captain, that is suicide. No. Jake said, it is poker and we are going all in. The Emperor watched, fascinated, as the human crew worked without question, despite the insane order. This was not logic or careful planning. This was pure human instinct and trust. Zara understood first. You are going to make them think we will destroy ourselves and them rather than surrender. Exactly. Jake said raiders are bullies, and bullies are cowards when faced with someone crazier than them. The raider fleet formed an attack formation as the blue horizon turned toward them instead of away. The small cargo ship accelerated to maximum speed, heading straight for the center of the enemy. Fleet Corax's voice boomed through speakers. Stupid humans, you cannot escape. Stop and surrender. The device. Jake opened the channel, one hand on Zara's for strength. Corax, you want the device? Come and get it. But know this. Humans have a saying, better to die free than live as slaves. He nodded to Bill, who activated the overload. The device began pulsing faster, its light growing brighter and unstable. Our sensors show the device is destabilizing. Corax said, you are bluffing again. Jake laughed, and it was genuine. Check your science officers, Corax. Ask them what happens when Kalari quantum technology overloads. The explosion would take out half your fleet, maybe more. There was silence from the raiders. The blue horizon kept accelerating toward them, the device growing brighter with each second. Zara played her part perfectly. Father, she said to the Emperor loudly, if we die here, tell our people that humans showed us how to live again. The Emperor, understanding the game, responded, my daughter, your sacrifice will be remembered, as will the courage of these humans. Some raider ships began breaking formation, moving away from the blue horizon's path. Others held, but uncertainty spread through their fleet like a virus. You are insane, Korax transmitted, "You would kill yourselves for pride, not pride." Jake replied, "Freedom, and the knowledge that we took you with us. See, humans might be weak and primitive, but we have one advantage over you. We are not afraid to die for what we believe in." The device pulsed, so bright now it hurt to look at. Bill whispered, "Captain, any more and it really will explode." "Hold steady," Jake whispered back. They were seconds from weapons range when Korax broke. "Pull back. All ships. Pull back. Let them pass." The Raider fleet split, apart like water around a stone, creating a path for the blue horizon to fly through. Jake kept his face calm, but inside his heart was racing. They passed through the entire enemy fleet untouched. Once cleared, Jake nodded to Bill, who powered down the device. The pulsing light faded to normal. The gamble had worked, but Korax was not done. "You only delayed the inevitable, humans. We will hunt you forever for this insult." The Emperor suddenly spoke, his voice carrying across all channels. "No, you will. Not the Blue Horizon and its crew are under Kalari Empire protection. Attack them, and you attack us all." The weight of that statement hung in space. The Kalari Empire was one of the most powerful forces in the galaxy. No sane being would challenge them directly. "This is not over," Korax said, but his voice held defeat. The Raiders began jumping to hyperspace, fleeing rather than facing potential Kalari retribution. When the last Raider vanished, Jake collapsed into his captain's chair, exhausted. Zara knelt beside him, concern in her color-shifting eyes. "That was insane," she said. "You risked everything on a bluff." Jake grinned at her. "Hey, sweetie, sometimes crazy is all we have got." She smiled back, her skin flushing pink. "Yes, darling, you humans are definitely crazy. But it is a good kind of crazy." The Emperor approached them. "Captain Miller, you have surprised me again. Instead of superior technology or strength, you used psychology and courage to defeat a force 100 times your size." "That is what humans do," Jake said. "We find another way when the obvious way will not work." The Emperor nodded. "I must return to my people and tell them what I have witnessed here today. A single human cargo ship did what our entire fleet could not." They faced the Void Armada and won without firing a shot. He looked at his daughter. "Zara, you were right. Humanity has something we have lost. They deserve our alliance and our protection." "Father, does this mean?" Zara began hopefully. The Emperor held up his hand. "You may stay with the humans if that is your choice. The bond is recognized, but know that you are choosing a difficult path. Humans live such short lives compared to us." Jake stood up, taking Zara's hand. "Then we better make every moment count, right?" Emperor studied them both, seeing something that had been missing from his people for millennia. Love real and powerful enough to bridge species. "Before I go," the Emperor said, "I will modify the device. It will still contain knowledge, but measured amounts. Things humanity is ready for. The rest will unlock as you grow." He touched the device and it changed color from blue to gold. Then he did something even more surprising. He offered his hand to Jake in the human gesture of respect. "Take care of my daughter. Captain Miller, show her what it means to truly live." Jake shook his hand firmly. "I will, sir, I promise." The Emperor turned to leave, but stopped at the door. "One more thing, Captain. The mental bond you share with Zara during the first trial. It is permanent. You are linked now in ways that will grow stronger over time." "What does that mean?" Jake asked. 3 months had passed since the encounter with the Raiders and the Kalari Emperor. The Blue Horizon continued its cargo runs, but now with an extra passenger who had become part of the crew, Zara adapted to human life with curiosity and joy, finding wonder in things the crew took for granted. She loved human food, especially pizza, which made her eyes swirl with golden happiness. She learned card games from Sam, though her mental abilities meant she had to promise not to read minds while playing. Amy taught her to pilot the ship, and she took to it naturally. Her reflexes were faster than any human, but she learned to slow down and enjoy the journey, not just the destination. The bond between Jake and Zara had grown stronger each day. They could sense each other's emotions and sometimes share thoughts without speaking. It should have been strange, but it felt natural, like they had always been connected. One morning, Jake found Zara in the observation deck staring at the stars. She did this often, but today something felt different. Through their bond, he sensed sadness. "What is wrong?" he asked, sitting beside her. "Today is the anniversary of my first flight," she said. "In Kalari culture, this is when we choose our life path. I was supposed to become a full diplomat for my people, serve the Empire for 1,000 years. Instead, I am here. Do you regret it?" Jake asked. Though he feared the answer, Zara turned to him, her eyes shifting from blue to gold. "Never. But sometimes I wonder if I made the right choice for my people. They need change, but I am not there to help them change." Before Jake could respond, Katie's voice came over the intercom. "Captain, you need to see this Earth News Channel 17. They went to the bridge where the main screen showed a news broadcast. The reporter looked excited. "Something extraordinary has happened," the reporter said. "First contact protocols have been activated, as 12 different alien species have requested formal meetings with Earth leadership. They all cite the same reason for coming forward now." The screen showed images of various alien vessels approaching Earth, all different designs and sizes, but all broadcasting peaceful intentions. According to sources, the reporter continued, "These species say they were inspired by recent events involving a human cargo ship that faced down hundreds of raiders to protect a single alien refugee. They say this act of courage proved humanity is ready to join the galactic community." Jake's crew erupted in celebration, but Jake noticed Zara crying. Through their bond, he felt her joy and pride overwhelming her. "You did this," Jake said. "You brought them together." "No," Zara replied, wiping her tears. "We did this. Together, your courage and my faith." It started. "Something wonderful," Bill interrupted, holding a datapad. "Captain, remember that modified device the Emperor left? It just activated on its own. It is downloading something." They gathered around as holographic images appeared from the device showing multiple star systems and trade routes. But more importantly, it showed translator protocols that would let humans communicate with any species. The Emperor's voice echoed from the device, a recorded message. "This is my gift to humanity and to my daughter, who showed me the way forward. The Kalari Empire officially recognizes Earth as a protected developing world. Any aggression against humanity will be met with our full response. Welcome to the galaxy, humans. May you never lose the spirit that makes you special." The message ended, but the device kept projecting information: medical knowledge that could cure diseases, agricultural techniques that could end hunger, energy systems that were clean and endless. But it was measured, carefully designed, to help humanity grow without overwhelming them. Katie was monitoring communications. "Captain, every human colony is receiving this information. It is going out on all channels. Earth government is calling it the greatest day in human history." Sam laughed. "They are calling us heroes. The crew that started the Galactic Alliance." "We are not heroes," Jake said. "We just did what was right." "That is what makes you heroes," Zara said softly. "In a galaxy where most species act only for profit or power, you acted for others. That is why they trust you." Over the following weeks, the Blue Horizon became famous. Every port they visited, aliens wanted to meet the human crew that had stood up to the void. Armada trade offers poured in, cultural exchanges were proposed. Scientists wanted to study human psychology to understand their unique approach to problems. But Jake kept his crew focused on their original mission, delivering medical supplies to colonies that needed them. Fame had not changed who they were. One evening, as they orbited a colony world they had just resupplied, Jake found his crew in the mess hall, celebrating. Amy had managed to cook something resembling a feast with their limited supplies. Katie raised a glass of synthetic juice. "To the best crew in the galaxy," she said to the captain, who was crazy enough to face down an empire with a cargo ship. Sam added, "To the princess who chose love over logic." Bill continued, "To the family we have become," Lisa said, smiling. Zara stood up, her eyes shifting through a rainbow of colors. "To humans," she said, "who taught the galaxy that strength is not measured in weapons or technology, but in the courage to do what is right, even when afraid. They drank and laughed and told stories late into the night. But eventually the crew drifted off to their quarters, leaving Jake and Zara alone in the observation deck. Through the window, Earth's sun was visible in the distance, a tiny point of light among millions. But it meant everything to Jake. Home had become bigger than one world now. It included this ship, these people, and the alien princess who had changed his life. Zara leaned against him, feeling his thoughts through their bond. "Your species will do great things," she said. "I have seen it in the way you think, always looking forward, always hoping." "And what about you?" Jake asked. "What will you do?" She smiled, her skin shimmering in the starlight. "I will do what I am doing now, building bridges between worlds, showing others what humanity taught me, that different does not mean dangerous, that love can cross any distance." Jake pulled her closer. "Hey, sweetie, want to know a secret?" Her skin flushed pink at the endearment it always did. "Yes, darling. I never believed in fate or destiny." Jake said, "Always thought we made our own path. But meeting you, saving you, fighting beside you, it feels like this was meant to happen." Zara turned in his arms, looking up at him. "My people would say that is illogical, that the probability of our meeting was so small it could not be destiny." "And what do you say?" Jake asked. She reached up and touched his face, her hand warm against his skin. "I say that humans taught me something more powerful than logic. They taught me that some things are worth believing in, even if they cannot be proven." They kissed there among the stars, human and Kalari, two species bridging the gap between worlds. It should have been impossible, but humans had always specialized in the impossible. The next morning brought new challenges. A distress signal from a mining colony under attack, news of more species wanting to meet humanity, reports of raiders regrouping in dark space. The galaxy was vast and dangerous, and there was much work to do, but the Blue Horizon was ready. Its crew had faced down armies with nothing but courage and creativity. They had turned enemies into allies through compassion. They had shown the galaxy that humans were not to be underestimated, not because they were strong, but because they never gave up. As they prepared to jump to hyperspace, heading toward the distress signal, Zara took her position at the navigation console. She had officially joined the crew, now wearing a modified human uniform that accommodated her taller frame. Jake sat in his captain's chair, watching his mixed-species crew work together perfectly. Amy and Zara plotted the course together. Sam and Bill prepared systems, Katie monitored communications, Lisa readied the medical bay. They moved like a single organism, each trusting the others completely. This is what the future looks like. Jake thought, humans and aliens working together as equals, each bringing their strengths to create something greater. Captain Zara said, "We are ready to jump." Jake nodded, looking at each of his crew members. "His family, take us out," he ordered. "Let us go save the day again." The Blue Horizon jumped to hyperspace, carrying its crew toward another adventure. Another chance to show the galaxy what humans were made of. Not conquerors, but protectors. Not rulers, but friends. And in the space between spaces, as the ship traveled faster than light, Jake felt Zara's mind touch his through their permanent bond. Her thoughts were warm and full of love, and for the first time in his life, Jake knew he was exactly where he belonged. The galaxy was vast and full of wonders. Humanity was just beginning its journey among the stars. But with courage, compassion, and the kind of crazy determination that turned cargo pilots into heroes, they would find their place, because that is what humans did. They found a way. They always found a way. And sometimes they found love among the stars, teaching ancient empires how to feel again, reminding the galaxy that the smallest spark could light the darkest void. The Blue Horizon sailed on into legend, one small ship that changed everything. Not through power, but through the most human thing of all, the refusal to give up on anyone, even an alien princess floating alone in space.